Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel and another Sudoku. This one is actually a part 2. It's probably going to be 4, it might be 5 videos. I'm not quite positive just yet how it's going to turn out. But this is the full English breakfast Sudoku set that Michael Lefkowitz has created for us. Now this one is, like I said, this is part 3, or not part 3, part 2, but the puzzle is number 3 in the set. The first 2 were done in a previous video. If you haven't watched that, you might want to go ahead and do that first, just so that there's a continuity there. But this is the third puzzle, and as I said, it's called Some Dried Tomatoes. The background of these puzzles, if they're all grouped together or they're all created as some, as in SUM, puzzles, that's one of the main components of the rule sets using sums. So, that said, this is again Some Dried Tomatoes by Michael Lefkowitz, and let's get into these rules and get started on this one. Now, you have normal 4x4 Sudoku rules apply, so that's every row, every column, and every 2x2 box contains the digits 1 through 4 once each. We have salt, which looks like it's this icon right here, which I can't highlight, but you can see it there. The digits separated by salt have adjacent values. It would be similar to like a white Kropke dot, or if this is a 1, this would be a 2. If this is a 3, this could be 2 or 4, something along those lines. And the next rule set is Summy Tomatoes. So the tomato cage, which is this, and the indicated sunny diagonals, which are that one, and that one, all have the same sum. Those are the rules, and let's get into this and continue our full English breakfast. So where would be a good place to start? This is a good question. So we've got some diagonals here which have few numbers of cells, but they don't have to be very large, so I don't know that that's going to give us much in terms of bringing down what those digits could possibly be. We do have a killer cage here, the tomato cage, which we can't repeat digits on it, and we couldn't anyway because it's all in one row. So this has to equal, it's a 3 digit, so it has to at least equal 6. And I think the highest it could go to would be 9, because we're only doing a 4x4 Sudoku here. It's either 6, 7, 8, or 9 would be the sum of this. Now, is there any way to pare that down to something a little more usable? Now, what about these diagonals? Because they all have to equal. I think I just might have seen something by highlighting those. What I was saying is they all have to equal the same thing. So whatever these boxes that I have highlighted equal, it's 3 times something, because there are 3 of these. Now this tomato cage here that is also that same value. But going back to this, so if I highlighted these, and I probably wouldn't have seen this right off the bat if I had not done so, we've got all of these cells must equal 3x, we'll just say. Now, in a 4x4 Sudoku, the only digits we can use is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, these have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and these have to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 added together equals 10 each. So each of these has to be 20. So whatever the 3x equals has to be 20 plus whatever these 2 are. Now that's going to get rid of, 6 and 7 actually, which is wonderful. Because if we did 6, these 3 diagonals would only equal 18. So we're already below 20. Now in 7, we do get above 20, but we only get up to 21. So how do you make 21 when you got 2 10s here and you got 2 more digits that have to equal 1? Well, that doesn't work. So we're down to a possibility of 8 and 9 being the digit that these all add up, or all are the same sum of. Now, is there any way to pare that down further? Well, I guess looking at this, there's only Well, it's a 4 by 4. So that normally when you think about a Sudoku in 3 digits, you can do 8 in 2 different ways. And you can do 9 in, I think, 3 different ways. But because we are at the 4 by 4 Sudoku, that actually is going to limit this. And I wonder if that's going to give us anything worth looking at. So an 8 with only using the digits 1 through 4, you still have to use a 1 like any other Sudoku. But you now cannot do 1, 2, 5, so you have to do 1, 3, 4. So that would be the way to do 8. And maybe we just need to kind of follow this for a second to see if there's some contradiction that removes 8. Or if 8 seems to be going the right way, and maybe we'll check 9 next and see if there's something that removes that. But let's say this is an 8 for now, because I can't think of a better way to really look at these and try to get any type of real information out of them. Because there's a bunch of variables here. But let's just look at this 8 for a second. We know this would have to be a 2. Now let's go back to what we said here. These had to be equal 10 each. And 8 times 3, which is what these cells would be, is 24. So we're removing 20 from it. These have to equal 4 together, so this could never be a 4. And since this doesn't have a 2 on it, we couldn't do 2, 2. It'd have to be a 1, 3 pair going across there to make that work. Now, does that break anything? Well, if this was a 2, and this was a 1, we have 3. This would have to equal 5. We can't do that, so this would have to be a 3 in this instance. So this would be 2, and this would be 3. That's 5. This would also have to be 3. That would force this to be a 1. So, excuse me. And actually it would make this one be the 3. This be the 4. Does that make this not work in any way? I don't know well, no, because this is a 4, so we need 4 more. It could be 1, 2, and 1. So that seems like it might work, actually. This would have to be a 4. That would then be 5 total. This would have to be 3. Oh wait, that doesn't work. We already have a 3 here. Let's look at that again. So if we go in this situation, we have 8 as our unit. We've now determined that this is 3, 3, 2 to make the 8. To go here. Oh, right. So sorry. Further on, we had decided that this would have to equal 8. These actually have to equal 4. The 3 remaining have to equal 4 total. These would have to be 1, 2, and 1. So this forces this to be a 4. 4, 1, 3. Yeah, that doesn't work. That's weird. So by that logic, or following that route, just barely down the line, we can find out that 8 doesn't really work. I wonder if there's a way to do that. As I smack into my mic. Good job. I wonder if there's another logical way to look at that and figure that out without kind of going down, let's just choose one and see if it causes a problem. I don't necessarily see something off the top of my head that looks like it would be able to differentiate that. Just going back to just the basic maths of it. These would be 10, these would be 10, this would be a 1, 3 pair. But that doesn't break anything just in that instance. Huh. Yeah, I wonder if there is something else there. If you see it, let me know. I'd like to see that, because I don't necessarily like to take it down a path just to find out if something doesn't work down the line. But I do not see anything else here that would tell me whether it's 8 or 9. I just don't see it. So let's, I guess, just continue on then, knowing that these all equal 9. So if this is 9, this has to be 2, 3, 4. That forces this to be a 1 and this to be a 2. Therefore, these are a 3, 4 pair. This is a 1, 2 pair. This is a 3, 4 pair. Now, if this has to be 9, well, let's do this one actually, because we've got the 1 that's situated there. It's telling us it cannot be. I mean, this is a low digit, so we've got 2 left over. They equal 8. The only way you can do that is with 4s. So these have to be 3s and these have to be 4s. Now we've got 3, 3, which is 6. This would have to be 2, 1, and 2. This has to be 1, this has to be 3, this has to be 3, this has to be 1 and 2. Is that correct? No. Where did I get this? This would have to be 4 each, yeah. These would both have to be 3s and these would both have to be 4s. I've already got 6 here. These would have to be 1, 2. This would have to be 3. Did I just do maths wrong? Maybe that was my problem. This has to be 1, 2, 1. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 8, 9. 3, 6, 9. 1 and 2. I think I might have just done the math wrong. 2 and 3. Oh, there it was. Okay, so I did the math wrong. Yeah, I'll say I don't necessarily think the way I got to it was probably the best way to do it. But like I said, I cannot see another way where I could differentiate whether these are 8s or 9s. Because looking at this as being 10 and 10, you know, you're looking at either it's trip 8s, which give you 24, it's trip 9s, gives you 27. So these are either 1, 3s, which we found out doesn't work because there's a contradiction in there, or it's a 3, 4. There's no other way to make 7. And once it's determined that these had to be 9s, then it just kind of, it worked. So there it is. Please, you know, it does look like this. I got this maybe a little quicker than I should have. I don't know if that's correct or not. But if you do see that logic, whatever it may have been, where there's absolutely no need to take a digit set or a sum set and figure out that it created a problem, let me know, because I would love to see what that was. Except it doesn't register to me how else you could do it. But anyway, that was, I'll probably just do this one on this one. I'm not sure how long the next one would be. So let's leave this one as part 2 of the full English breakfast with some dried tomatoes by Michael Lefkowitz. And we will dive into the next sets of, I think there's 2 more puzzles in this set. We'll get to those in the next episodes. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Once again, leave comments down below if there's some other way that you figured out how to solve this. And we will get to those next puzzles sometime soon. Thanks for watching.